one line to take. From the first turn through the final fair, we own the track, we breathe the dare. Speed is the language, glory the game. In the ultimate league, we rise in flame. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it hard and take the lead. Rollers burning, hearts collide. We were born to rule this ride. Raise the flag, it's victory time. Ultimate formula, the finish line. Metal screams and tires fly. We tear the limits, kiss the sky. No retreat, no second place. Every lap we set the pace. Legends forged in every lap. One mistake, a thunderclap. But we don't break, we only grow. It's checkered dreams in turbo soul. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it harder, take the lead. Rollers burning, hearts collide. We were born to rule this ride. Raise the flag, it's victory time. Ultimate formula, the finish line. The finish line. Oh, engines thunder in our veins. Oh, victory flows through the chains. Oh, we are the song of fearless breed. Ultimate racers, we were born to lead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and this is UFRL. This is the 100% tier realistic cars as well. So it will be short qualifying followed by the full race distance. And it seems to be yellow flags very early on. Morgan Massey here in the qualifying. You've got an Alpine, you've got an Aston, you've got a McLaren, all very close together. Trying to figure out where they want to be on track, of course. So Morgan Massey was actually meant to be the first one starting a lap. That does not seem to be the case, however. Or either that, or he may have even been blocked, so we may have to look into that, actually. But yeah, there were certainly a couple of cars. The Alpine is now shot up ahead, but yeah, I mean, the guy's ahead. PRV Widget being one of them. The other one will be Iron Shin. So yeah, the likes of Iron Shin, Widget, and then you've got the other Alpine, Red Cowboy. So yeah, those are the ones that maybe any one of them could easily have blocked Morg Massey there. They were all coming out of the pit very quickly, just as Morg Massey was starting his lap. So again, may very well have been a block there. We will drop back on somebody who is on a lap. You've got Bevan, you've got a Red, we'll call him Red. Cowboy or Cowboy? We'll call him Red. Let's drop down. So we've got Angry Badger, you've got Viking Fox. Well, Viking just starting his lap. Let's just watch with Angry Badger. He's got a full load of batteries. He's only using Hot Lap as well. Good evening, Kingy. Good evening, 50 Gent. I hope you guys are good. Obviously, both getting involved in the race tonight. Cowboy goes quickest 29.997 for the Alpine team, but would Angry Badger go anywhere near it? Well, he won't go anywhere near it. Again, only in Hot Lap. Interesting strategy for Angry Badger on the first run, but he will now burn the battery to the line. So 35.9, but this will be his first push lap. Morg Massey also able to start another lap, thankfully. Let's go down towards like Doug or Bevan still on the lap. Don't forget, Viking and Iron Shin are fairly close behind as well. Viking Fox just into the middle sector. And where you've got Iron Shin as well also. Yeah, both of them very much in the middle sector, just approaching the final sector. A short final sector as well. Only a few corners, so not too bad here at Japan. But Bevan about to come through. It is nice overcast conditions as well here in qualifying. And a 30.2. 2.5 tenths back from Red Cowboy in the Alpine, who's looking good so far. And let's go towards Viking Fox. Runner-up in the development tier last season. So let's see if Viking Fox can really make a push for it in the Williams this season. In tier 1 as well. So 130.1, very close at the front in that front three. And Cowley with a 130.8 goes 4th fastest on his first run. Destroyer Jack just starting his lap as well. You've got Joshy in the Kick Sauber, lone Kick Sauber it seems. I'm not sure where his teammate is. Bad Boy is not here, so yeah, Bad Boy not racing. For whatever reason, he did actually sign up as well. So Bad Boy signed up, but not in attendance, quite clearly. Let's go further ahead. Baker Gaming just starting a lap as well. PRV Widget remains to be seen where he could be in that McLaren. There is an Aston Martin of Iron Shin coming through as well. Iron Shin goes up to P8 because Widget goes 5th, 130.4. All very close in that front five. Well, less about half a second separating that group, or even then, it's just over 4 tenths really. So Cowboy, Massey, Viking, Bevan, and Widget all for close company. County a little gap back with Badger as well. Angry Badger had a very strong performance in Tier 3 on Wednesday night. Just a shame he had a late disconnection from the Grand Prix. Otherwise, he was on to battle for the win. And Cowley himself as well had a good drive. He came back, got into the top 10 after some wing damage on lap 1. So he did come back strongly to get a solid result. PRV Widget as well, I think he's still aiming for his first top 10 finish in Tier 3 since Season 8. The whole of Season 9, he failed to finish in the top 10. So he'll be hoping to pick up at least one this season, no doubt about that. But he's had a good start to the qualifying session. Morg Massey invalidating on his run. Let's have a look. Joshy, you expect him to be up there. It is a realistic car performance, but you'd still expect him to be pushing further up the field. Becky Gaming P8 131.0 for the Ferrari. And you've got Kingy OG also on a hot lap. Merc as well, just in behind. But let's go towards Kingy OG then. For the Red Bull team, can he find his way up the order? Tier 2, he did have a solid drive as well in Tier 2. I was with him in the first stint, and then after that, didn't see him. But King OG goes P6, 130.632 for the Red Bull. But he did actually qualify decently as well in that Tier 2 race on Tuesday. Merc as well, 4th fastest. I think he may have qualified just outside the top 10, or maybe just in the top 10 on Monday night in Tier 1. So again, Merc looking to push on this season. I think he's just trying to get used to the handling as well. Obviously, the new game. So Merc continues to try and probe towards success. And then Joshy also getting a lap in 130.151, but still very close in that front pack. It goes all the way down really to certainly Bevan, possibly even Widget can be included in that top 6, top 7, all within just over 4 tenths of a second down to 7th place. And again, it's very close up to Merc as well, and Bevan 2.5 tenths back from Cowboy. But Joshy's still out there on track as well, as is Merc. We're going to drop down the order. So good evening, Heck Wadster. Hello, hope you're doing good. And yes, I see in the TikTok, Joshy says, I'm racing for my debut. Indeed you are. And you're currently qualifying in... Where are you, Joshy? In quali? Did you see you? 4th place, that's why. I don't know why your name's not Joshy on EA, but there you go. You've obviously decided not to have Joshy44. We will refer to you as Joshy in this race, though. But King OG still out there on none. Beckley Gaming as well, just starting a run. Doug and William both on a lap. Let's head towards Willie Fernandez in the Williams. But yeah, both Doug and William yet to set a lap time. If we have a look. Tyre situation. I mean, some people are on fresh tyres already, so second set of fresh tyres. People may be aiming to get 3 sets, 3 runs in on fresh rubber. Some will go for just a 2. Woody Fernandez, 131.2, goes P12 in the Williams. And let's give a bit of context here for William. He will find it difficult, I think, this season. He is the development tier champion, so that's why he has actually got a slower car than what he would have had if he didn't win the title. So Woody Fernandez is going to have to work hard to try and push that Williams up the order. Doug, P13. The two Aston Martins struggling a little bit thus far here in qualifying. Doug 13th, Iron Shin in 14th. You've got 50 Joan and you've got Poem, both on a lap as well. And also Bakey Gaming, don't forget. So let's have a look. Bakey Gaming across the line, he is improving. He's up into P8. gaining almost half a second there to just slot in ahead of Kingy OG, who is also on a lap and gaining by a couple of tenths of a second as well. We have a look towards Bevan. He's finding 3/10, so could be into the 2090. Could actually be pushing close towards pole. As there was some lawn mowing going on in the distance for Williams. They still seem to be doing that lawn mowing, so I hope that they're cutting the grass nicely. When is trial runs? So the next trial should be Sunday. So Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. is when the next trial will be. I didn't realise you were a gatekeeper. See, there you go. But yes, 7:30 p.m. Sunday night. That will be when the next trial will occur. So normally we do the Sunday Thursday, and the reason why is because we don't have any league races on the Sunday and Thursday. Every other day we do have a league race. Our Red Cowboy improves 29.8, Viking 29.7, Bevan 30.1 goes 4 fast as a couple of crucial improvements. But for Viking Fox right now, he is the man on provisional pole for the Williams. Very strong effort there with a Red Cowboy there. But Mr. Poem, 29.5. The Alpine is on top. He takes over from Viking Fox. And he will scare the field with that. And up to the front he goes. Destroyer Drac is also on a lap. Iron Shin. Doug enters the pit. Let's head towards Destroyer Drac on this occasion. Can he fire up in that Racing Bulls? Here, after a strong Tier 2 drive, Destroyer Drac goes P3, 29.7. So very close up the front again. Destroyer Drac threatening your Tier 1 drivers, Poem and Viking, but 0.02 of a second behind the Fox and going third fastest Drac as he makes a very interesting attempt to move out of the way by just staying completely on the near side at 2 miles per hour. Not even that. How are this evening? Yeah, good, mate. How about you, Luke? How are you doing? But yeah, Destroyer Jack currently behind Poem and Viking Fox. Red Cowboy back out there, but invalidating on this occasion. Let's go back and see some of these drivers further down the field. 50 Gent not on the lap. Iron Shin did improve on his last run, 31.0, but still in P14. The Aston Martin duo, they'll be hoping to pick up on the pace maybe in qualifying. Both down in the bottom 4 here so far. Angry Badger as well, racing for the Red Bull. He had some good pace, didn't he, in Tier 3? So can Angry Badger continue with that pace here tonight alongside Kingy OG? He'll certainly be hoping so. Let's go back towards Iron Shin. Maybe not. He's not actually burning the battery. Send you... Oh, if we can... Did you not join the other day? I thought you would have done. Let me get it, because... Let's see... Got to get the link first, and then I've got to go onto Twitch directly and send it through there, right? So hopefully no major improvements are going on, so bear with me whilst that happens. Just sending in the link, and there you go. So if you do want to join, feel free to join on that link. I would also post it just now actually into the TikTok just to make it a little bit easier. So if you're on Twitch or TikTok, feel free to join on that link, and that will send you to the Discord. Iron Shin into the pits and Angry Badger in P13, Cowley down there P12. Just struggling at the moment to get his way up into the top 10. You've got Baker Gaming in the top 10 at 130.5. You've got Widget there as well. So a few drivers taking a keen eye. But Widget, yeah, it's a good effort by him. 130.4. He's back out on an outlap. We've got less than 4 minutes to go here in qualifying. So the final laps will begin to take centre stage. And it looks like the likes of Poem, Viking, Drac, Red Cowboy with a 29.8 as well. Those are your key targets for pole. And it's certainly an opportunity for any of the drivers to win this championship this season. Because some of those, like Pesci and Deck, I know full well they're doing like the esports. So that's why they're not involved. And that's also, I wonder, maybe why Bad Boy's not racing. Possibly. Yeah. So it gives opportunities to other drivers to actually do well here in the 100% tier. 3 competitions happening at the moment with UFRL. See, there you go. 3 competitions for the esports. And again, that's what the likes of Pesci and Deck. Possibly Bad Boy, possibly Ivy. I'm not certain who exactly. Yeah, those guys are the types of guys who will be racing in and around that. So that's why they are not racing tonight. Or maybe they're just taking a break for tonight. Either one. Particularly Ivy and Bad Boy. I'm not too certain on that situation. I don't know if they are racing or if they're not racing, but either way, it's up to them. But PRV Widget then are back into none, so no driver on a lap at this current moment in time. So therefore, we'll go to whoever the lead one is, and that will be Kingy OG. He'll be the first one to start his hot lap. Just over 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes 20. And it's the final stages of your qualifying session. And it will get a little bit more frantic now out on circuit. I binned it and lost my front wing in Sector 1 last lap on used tyres, says Joshy44, currently in P7. About 6/10 of a second behind Mr. Poem as Doug retires on a 1:31.9. Down to P17, he'll be a little bit disappointed with that first run. Ivy and Roomaster in F4, Pesci and Sandra in F2, Ryan and Racing Fox in FRLT. So, Bad Boy not racing, Ivy racing, there you go, that makes a bit of sense. So, do you think Ivy will be a regular on Fridays in the esports? I'm going to guess. If that's the case, then we might as well take him out the lineup and just have him as a reserve. Possibly Bad Boy as well, and then again, it doesn't seem Bad Boy is racing. In the esports, of course. Kingy OG still P11, but can the Red Bull find that crucial time to push him up the order? Low 130s is probably where you're wanting to be if you want to get into that top 10 here in quali, with all the drivers around King OG on a lap or starting a lap. Angry Badger not going out again. Him and Doug are the only two who will not have an opportunity to get one more run in. So Angry Badger P13 at best, Doug P17 guaranteed, unless there's a disqualification, of course. Anything can happen. But Kingy OG, where will he push that Red Bull as he does cross the line in just 3 seconds? Here we go. Kingy OG, does he find time? He does. He's P9, 1:30.2 for Kingy OG. Strong first ever for him. And I will mention as well, Bevan has since gone second fastest, 1:29.5. And Morg Massey also 29.5. It's close at the front. 31 thousandths of a second between Poem, Massey and Bevan in your top three. Massey goes wide. Poem prepares to start his lap. We've got 15 seconds. He will cross the line as well. Viking Fox showing us purple through the middle sector, but losing time as well. 4th place provisionally for Viking Fox. He needs to find crucial time in Sector 3 or he will not be pushing for pole. Deploy used and Viking Fox to the line. He stays in P5 because Red Cowboy has jumped him into the top 4. It's incredibly close at the front here in the 100% tier. So close between the drivers. Barely 0.2 of a second covering that top 6 group at the moment. And it is Mr. Poem who is on provisional pole. Incredible job by him. Merck is finding time as well, currently in P9. And can he find his way up the order in and challenge that top 6 group? UFRL Mercs for the Racing Bulls team. Here we go. Mercs to the line. Will he be there? It's P6. He pips Destroyer Track by 10 thousandths of a second. Or 100th of a second, whichever one you want to say it. Merc is in 6th. It's so close at the front right now. Unbelievably so. Joshy44 is done. P9 for him. King OG not finding any time. And Cowley will be the next one to the line. But again, he's not finding time either. Cowley P12. We want to go towards this man because Mr. Poem onto a provisional pole. Can he secure pole? Here we go to the line. It's an improvement. 29.222. Poem surely will take pole position. Unless anybody can find late time, they will not find late time. Destroyer Jack moves up to 3rd fastest, but it's not enough. Mr. Poem on pole position in the Alpine. A great lap right at the end, but then you got Massey, Drac, Bevan, Cowboy, Viking, Merc, all very close to each other as well, all the way into down to 7th, and then even behind that, a close field, running from Bakey Gaming down to our Widget, within 0.3 of a second, those drivers, so that's P8 down to P13, and then you've got Cowley, Angry Badger, Iron Shin, and Doug further back. But yeah, a lot of drivers very close together. And Mr. Poem right at the end, finding those crucial tenths of a second to ensure he is on pole. But actually, he would have still got pole with that original lap. That original lap, he would have got pole position. Joshy says he hit another car after spinning. Ouch. Very painful. P9 for you. So, again, an opportunity for you to try and pick up some overtakes in the race, potentially. But we'll see how it goes. But Mr. Poem takes pole at Japan. He will absolutely settle for that. And he has actually shown some promising signs of pace here as well. Not just here, but also in the Tier 1 race, where he looked pretty solid. Got a good quali, good race result as well. And obviously tonight, on pole by 3.5 tenths for Morg Massey. Again, who's done very well in that Ferrari to be second fastest. After him, Destroyer Jack P3 Racing Balls. Destroyer Jack looking strong. Bevan 4 fastest for Mercedes. And you got Red Cowboy in the Alpine. Viking Fox 6th in the Williams. And you got Merck, Bakey, Joshy Williams. Then you got Kingy, Gent, Widget, Cowley, Badger. And then you've got Iron Shin and Doug at the rear of the field. But those are your 17 drivers. And it's a wet race. Didn't even know this. It is a wet race, at least for the start. I will try and find out, but we are going to go for a little quick break, or well, the video will play for the next few minutes, but I'm going to try and find out if we are due for any dry racing in the race. So right, I will be back in a few moments' time.
Engines roar, the lights go down. Adrenaline runs through the battleground. We chase the edge, no time to break. One shot to win, one line to take. From the first turn through the final flare, we own the track, we breathe the dare. Speed is the language, glory the game. In the ultimate league, we rise in flame. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it hard and take the lead. Rollers burning, hearts collide. We were born to rule this ride. Raise the flag. It's victory time. Ultimate formula, the finish line. Now screams and tires fly. We tear the limits, kiss the sky. No retreat, no second place. Every lap we set the pace. Legends forged in every lap. One mistake, a thunderclap. But we don't break, we only grow. It's check your dreams in turbo soul. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it hard and take the lead. Rollers burning, hearts collide. We were born to rule this ride. Raise the flag, it's victory time. Ultimate formula, the finish line. The finish line. Oh, engines thunder in our veins. Oh, victory flows through the chains. Oh, we are the song of fearless breed. Ultimate racers, we were born to lead. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it hard and take the lead. Racing legends side by side. In the ultimate formula, we rise with pride. Raise the flag, let the engines chime. Ultimate formula, the finish line. A finish line. Engines thunder in our veins. Victory flows through the chains. We are the strong, the fearless breed. Ultimate racers, we were born to lead. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it hard and take the lead. Push it hard and take the lead. Push it hard and take the lead. Riders burning, hearts collide. You're about to run ride. Raise the fight. It's victory time. Ultimate formula. The finish line. It's just on your veins.
Right then, we are back and we will be getting underway in just a minute's time for this Japanese Grand Prix. I have been told, oh well, I have been informed, we might get some dry racing late in the race. So the current predictions are it could be around the last 10 laps or so. It is on approximate weather, so it is not set in stone. We might get no dry weather at all, or we might get dry weather halfway through the race. You don't know. It's approximate weather. So this dry weather, if it appears, could appear at any moment. And that's what the fun is with the approximate weather. Maybe not as fun for the drivers, because obviously they're going to have to try and figure out exactly what's going on there. I think the chances of a safety car must be high. They have to be. I mean, there's no chance that the chances of a safety car are going to be low. They have to be high. But yes, let's see what goes on in tonight's race. So for any driver, you can now ready up. I am just going to give you the message. And there you go. So the drivers can now ready up. Better get dry weather or it's going to be a short race. But yeah, as I said, approximate weather. So it could very easily be the situation where you get it halfway through the race. You could get it before that period. You could not get it at all. You just never know with the approximate weather. So we're going to see how it unfolds. But let's hope for a banging race here at Japan. Oh, and we are now underway. Right, here we go. Mr. Poham's had a great start off the field, and Morg Massey. But it's a little slide there from Poham as well. Massey just trying to keep him under pressure. But they've had a great start, those top two. Red Cowboy is occupying P3 with Viking Fox. Bevan up the order. He's into fifth. Then you got Merckx from Baker Gaming. Willie Fernandez, Jen and Cowley in that top 10. Destroyer Jax fell down the field. He's down to P17. We look at the position changes there. Down 14, Destroyer Jack. So certainly not the start he would have wanted. King OG also down 5. Joshi is down 4 spots, make it 6 now as Doug is trying to put some pressure on him further down the field. Let's go towards this little battle then. Joshi and King OG and Doug all trying to get involved with Destroyer Drac as well. Yeah, certainly not the start that Destroyer Drac would have wanted, but none of them in that bottom 4 have had particularly good starts. Doug, the only one of them gaining a place, only 1 place as well. So not ideal for any of those drivers. Merck finding his way through on Bevan as Merck actually goes off track. Can he try some form of switch back again? You're going to try and get the traction down. Mr. Poem retains that lead at the front of this race. I'm going to presume it's full wet all round. Indeed it is. So full wet for every driver here makes it a bit easier for those watching and just viewing this race, because you're not going to have to think about potential strategies as Merck has found his way on Bevan. So up into the top 5 goes Merck, and we'll drop further down the field to see any challenges. Angry Badger A few tenths back now from Iron Shin, and Mr. Poem leads after lap 1, but Morg Massey has closed the gap to within a tenth of a second almost, so Morg Massey certainly looks pretty comfortable, I say that. And of course he gets a little snap on the exit of turns 1 and 2. But Morg Massey, yeah, he does look like he's trying to keep Mr. Poem under pressure. Only one kick, yeah, there is. So you could have actually had that kick, Sauber. The reason why is that Bad Boy did not show up for the race. Otherwise, you would have got that car. But yes, Morg Massey still there in P2. A gap back to Red Cowboy and another gap to Viking Merc is the one who looks like he's showing good pace here. He's all over the rear of Viking Fox. I've got to say, he looks like he's been one of the quickest drivers in this race so far, Merc. Even though you've got Poem and Morg Massey up the field, here he goes for a chance. Merc, is he going to go outside or inside? He's going to look to the outside. Viking defends the inside line. Can Merc get some form of run? On the exit of the hairpin, he's trying his best to hold the traction down, but just not quite in a position to do so. But still looking good. I think Merc will try his best to find his way up the order as best as possible. He's not too far away as he still has a battle with Viking Fox. Josh said, I need a dry race. I've got a dry setup on the TikTok. Well, that's not going to happen. You're down in P15. He's got a dry setup on. I'm presuming drivers knew about some rain in the race, or at least some of you guys knew. Maybe some of you didn't check it, and those who didn't check, well, I'm guessing you're regretting that. But yes, Merc still trying to make the move on Viking Fox. Viking Fox finding it very tricky through the Casio triangle. Mr. Poem 51.8 through for the fastest lap, but here comes Merc all the way around the outside, and now on the inside line. Well, actually, still the outside line on Viking, and he does find his way through. Merc's looking strong as he's found his way up into the top 4. Excellent start by Merc here. There you go, up 3 spots, in fact. Destroyer Jack and Doug are going at for it, but Destroyer Jack now up. Oh, no, never mind, he was up a place, but he's lost it to Doug. He runs wide into turn 1, and Doug takes a place straight back from Doug, and King OG also takes over from Iron Shin. King OG up into P13, having lost a few places off the start. Do they have traction control on, or is it? Yeah, it's optional, so it wouldn't shock me if some do have it on. On a personal basis, I would keep it off, just because that's how I would rather do things. I'd rather. I'm not going to call it cheat, but it feels like cheating if you run no traction control and you just turn it on. Oh, hello, that's the car going off. That's a wild car going off there. PRV Widget under attack now from Angry Badger. Badger is up into P11. The Tier 3 drivers battling it out. King OG involved in this as well. Merck's closing in as well on Red Cowboy for placing that top 3, 1.4 seconds back. So we'll see if Merck can catch up to Red Cowboy here in this race. I think he's got himself a chance. Just turning down the game sound. Hopefully it's not too low for you guys. But let's see how it goes. As again, a little bit of a slip on the exit. We're going to turn that off so we can see more of the cars. But yes, King OG is all over the rear of PRV Widget. But again, not quite close enough. We certainly see there's a gap from 50 Gent in P9 down the order. And I'm going to say the one driver who that's probably not favouring at all, actually 2 drivers who you might expect to be further up the field, Joshy 44 and Destroyer Drac, P15, P17. And they're going to need to perform miracles. Willie Fernandez overtakes Bakey Gaming down the straight, but we're watching on with King OG on the rear of PRV Widget, but Widget does retain the pace. Cowley also going side by side, but here we go. And 50 Gent loses out to Angry Badger as well. Badger in the top 10, Cowley to 9th. They were losing time to that top 8, but now that they've got past 50 Gent, maybe 50 Gent needs to think about allowing his teammate Widget through. Because if he doesn't, I've seen, if we're being honest, 50 Gent has struggled a bit here for pace in these early laps here at Japan. And there's a battle going on there. Cowley under attack straight away from Angry Badger. Maybe the Red Bull feels he has an opportunity. Oh, what's that? A bit of a slip there. 50 Gent. There you go. 50 Gent has made a mistake. He's going slowly after the mistake. He did not want to crash into another car, but he's down to P17. It's going to be a tricky race now for 50 Gent. He was holding up the cars quite nicely, by the way. He was defending it well, but sadly a mistake drops him down the order. But Angry Badger side by side with Cowley for a place in 9th position here, but Cowley just about again fends off the charge of Badger, so there's no overtake just yet for the Red Bull. After making that move on 5th Gent, within the last lap in fact, he's just trying to find another move, this time on the Mercedes. Ooh, as a slip there from Angry Badger. Certainly could have been costly. The wall on the left-hand side did look like it was eyeing up the Red Bull, but obviously not eyeing him up enough. Mr. Poem 49.966 continues to show signs of an impressive pace so far as we move up the order towards Merck, who is still tracking down Red Cowboy within half a second. Merckx will not be far off from setting purple sectors and purple lap times here. His pace compared to Mr. Poem is very solid. So we'll bear that in mind as we drop back again. Angry Badger still going at it side by side with Cowley once again. Cowley continues to defend it well. It's Destroyer Jack with a 3-second time penalty. The first driver to receive a penalty. Actually, maybe that's the view we need. There you go. Penalty situation on for you as well. Trying to learn myself to drive without it. Yeah, in the rain, obviously, it's not going to be easy. But it is optional. So you can have traction control on. Yeah, it's up to you. Same with like ABS. A lot of drivers do run, of course, with ABS. Some don't run it. So again, it's completely up to the driver what they want to do. We're going to go back up towards Merck, who's closing in very quickly to Red Cowboy here. So it looks like he's on to challenge well with the Alpine. If he could find his way through on Cowboy, he could be on the rear of Morgan Massey, and he could be on to challenge Poem for the lead of this race. Have everything off except TC. Fair enough. I mean, as people have been saying, to be fair, I haven't tried it yet. I don't know if I am going to try it. I might try it at some point, maybe later when the game is, when I'm more comfortable with the game. But ABS off doesn't seem to be as difficult as what it had been. I mean, I'm a controller player personally, so obviously for those on wheel, it's probably a bit easier to not have ABS. But as we see Merck here going down the inside on Red Cowboys, he got the move done. There's still a little bit of contact, nothing major. Merck on the outside line. He'll now have the inside line, and Merck powers his way through. Red Cowboy trying to keep him behind, not able to. And Viking Fox is into the pits. It's a very early stop for Viking. I'm going to be honest, I'm very surprised about that. He's on to the Inters. Intermediate tyres. We're going to get the lap data run for you. As I said, I'm surprised because he's in traffic. He's in traffic behind Doug. And look how many other drivers he's got after that. He's got this whole group of cars. Yeah, this is not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all for Viking Fox. He's got to find his way through up to the Mercedes as well. And the Mercedes is Cowley in P8. That's how many places he's got to gain. He does find his way past Doug. But maybe his better strategy could have been just to hold out on the full wet until he's gained that pit stop advantage over these drivers. He's got Destroyer Drac next. Then he's got Joshy 44. You can see just there, he's got so much more grip as well. But he's certainly being held up by this group. Still use full TC, to be fair. I used to have it off on controller, but not since I switched to the wheel. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean... Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't comment too much, obviously, being on the wheel, because I'm on controller as well. It's not too bad on controller. Morgan Massey, 49.522. That's the fastest lap of the race now, as he's caught up to Poem again. 1 second behind on Mr. Poem is Morgan Massey. We're on board with Viking Fox. He's going to go for the move on the inside of Destroyer Jack. Certainly had a look. He's now hoping that this batch of drivers ahead of him think about pitting. But they're not. They're not pitting. So Viking Fox has got to do it all on track. And Destroyer Jack, this is kind of full position. There's a still full position. I mean, it's not like they're just going to let Viking Fox steam through. And Viking Fox, once again, has a struggle. But now, going wide there, Destroyer Drac, and that should give the place to Viking. Drac will still try and fight it on the inside line. Side by side, they go through into the S's, and there you go. Viking Fox up into P14. But again, he's not finding it difficult to make this moves. He only completed 2 overtakes in the 2 laps that he's been out there for. One on Doug, one on Drac. And next up for him will be Joshy44 in the Kick Sauber. Just keeping watch of these guys, but also King OG now just making a move on PRV Widget, who's made a mistake, Claire. You can see out of sorts on the exit of Joshy. Oh, a little bit of contact from behind from Viking Fox there as well. But yeah, I will say Merc has now caught up to Morg Massey, so the gap that we were talking about between Morg Massey and Mr. Poem had gone down, but the gap to Merc has certainly gone down. 0.8 of a second. He very much looks like the quickest driver on the circuit, and Merc does set fast up. What's that? Mr. Poem down. He's into the pits. It's okay. He's not spun. Don't worry. Mr. Poem is into the pits. So your tyre situations, it will be intermediates, and he will be in a nice area. Will he be ahead of William and Baker Gaming, or will he be behind them? I think, unfortunately for him, it looks like Mr. Palm will slot in behind. So that is now a situation. We'll leave it on that for now, so you guys can see, and eventually they will all presumably pit for the intermediate tyres. Angry Badger is the next one in. And he will go for the Inters Viking Fox, and that means he's up into P11. There's a battle going on further back. Joshy and Drac, and Destroyer Drac. Oh, Joshy around the outside. Goes a little bit deep. And Destroyer Drac holds the place. Joshy really trying to get a move on there. Just couldn't quite hold it down. That's Cowley. 0.3 of a second. 0.4 back to Iron Shin now. And we're just seeing if Cowley can find his way past the Aston Martin. King OG still there, 1.6 back. King OG's pace has surprised me, actually. His pace at Mexico seems strong, but he's not looking rapid here. The second quickest car, I will say. The McLaren is the quickest. Yeah, I'm not sure why King OG's pace isn't looking all too great. I mean, he's not that far back from Iron Shin and Cowley, in all fairness to him. As we'll have a look here at Viking, and maybe actually go towards Mr. Poem as well. There's 2 real battles going on, factoring in the tyre situation. And here goes Mr. Poem. He will go around the outside on Baker Gaming, now on the inside line, and that is him ahead of the Ferrari. So Mr. Poem finds way up to P6. Red Cowboy is next to pit. Morg Massey and Merc both decide to stay out. And now Mr. Poem is through on Willie Fernandez now and up into 5th place as well. As we head towards this battle at the front, Morg Massey and Mercs are your leading duo. Baker Gaming leads ahead of William because Willie Fernandez is also pitting, as is Bevan, and of course Red Cowboy. He's on to the Inters. So several drivers now are making their pit stops. We'll go to the stop situations. Anybody who has pitted are on to the intermediates now. So anyone who's pitted is on the Inters. Anybody not pitted are on the full wets. So that is your situation for the moment. You've got Cowley just ahead of Bevan. I think Cowley most likely will allow for his teammate to go through Bevan, and Viking Fox, therefore, he's going to have a bit of a struggle here because, again, he was probably right to pit in terms of what is the optimal tyre. The issue for Viking Fox is he was also wrong to pit because he got so much traffic. And yes, he's found his way back up the order now, and there you go, Bevan is through, and here goes Viking. He powers through on Cowley. Cowley obviously is trying to fight it. He might have been surprised that Viking was there. Oh, Cowley! Oh, Cowley! He's gone for a spin. He's gone for lawn mowing. Lawn mowing 1.0, but King OG gets through, and here comes Destroyer Drac as well. Destroyer Drac just staying behind, but a wide line there from Cowley. Destroyer Drac does get through, does he? Because Cowley's coming back at him. For placing at top 10 again. It's not net P10, unfortunately, for them, due to the fact that Willie Fernandez has already pitted. Angry Badger most likely also will come out ahead of these guys. Morg Massey and Mercs, and there you go, onto the grass a little bit around the outside goes Cowley. luckily for him, does not lose grip. So that is very much fortunate for his perspective. Just seeing the screen's frozen. Oh, hang on. Just going to sort out the screen. Just bear with me a second, guys. Right, we are back. So, Cowley, 2/10 back from Destroyer Jack. Willie Fernandez. There you go, on the one-stop strategy, of course. For the Inters, it's got through on 50 Gent. 50 Gent, the only one yet to pit in the race. I feel like he will find this one quite difficult, unfortunately, for the Papaya. And that top four, again, are back where they were. Mr. Poem well ahead now of Morg Massey. So his strategy, undercutting his rivals, has worked. Morg Massey, then it's Merck. Merck actually did not undercut the Ferrari. That is a surprise in my opinion. I would have thought he would have done. So no undercut there for Merckx. Yeah, he might regret that later in this race. It would not surprise me if he doesn't regret that. I think if he had undercut by one lap, then he would have found his way past the Ferrari. Could have had a chance to catch Mr. Poem, but he still has a chance to catch Mr. Poem. The difficulty for him is he's got to overtake Morg Massey as well. And Morg Massey has had a strong race up to now. P2. And he does look like he's got some good pace in that Ferrari this evening. So Morg Massey's still doing a good job. Merck as well. A Red Cowboy, P4. And the Alpine has performed very admirably in this race. Mr. Poem, 46-1. He does set a fastest lap. He's having a fantastic, stellar race here at Japan. I mean, Mr. Poem, he's won every title so far that he's been able to win. He's won Tier 1, he won Tier 2. He's also won the International Tier, of course. So, the one that Mr. Poem wants, I think he's won the Constructors' Championship as well. So, the one he wants, the one he's hoping to push for is this one. That's Red Cowboy. He's actually got wing damage. Red Cowboy has got wing damage on the front right end plate. So, wherever he did that, he's definitely hit a wall somewhere, and that will cost Red Cowboy some downforce rather in the Alpine Destroyer Jack with a 3-second time penalty as well. That's 6 in total for him. Angry Badger, also the other driver, with a penalty in the race. Both, Jack just in the top 10, Badger in P14. Let's see if the likes of Baker Gaming can catch up to Cowboy. I mean, he probably won't. Don't forget, Baker Gaming still on the full wets. But maybe for the likes of Bevan and Viking Fox, they might stand a chance to catch Red Cowboy given the damage on the Alpine running P4. So Red Cowboy with that damage will be under attack potentially. And if any of them are going to fight it, might imagine it to be Viking Fox here. But he's still over a second back from Bevan. But we'll see if the consistency can shine through for Viking Fox in this race. I'll just drop back here, the likes of Drac and Cowley. Interesting that both these drivers deciding not to pit in this race. I mean, the intermediates are obviously there for them. Mr. Poem once again, 44.988, setting a purple lap. He does look strong here this evening. Willie Fernandez on the rear of Cowley. Is this going to be his move up the order? Will Cowley fight him off? Baker Gaming is the next one into the pits, meaning that top 6 will be your net top 6 as well for Viking and for Bevan. But here we go as William still in closing on Cowley, and Cowley also behind Drac, who's going to pit. Oh, that was close. That was remarkably close. And here goes Badger. Out of nowhere, Angry Badger flies through. He's up into P8. No doubt about that. Willie Fernandez would have been absolutely disappointed because he probably had to put on the brakes there just to make sure he didn't run into Cowley and Destroyer Draclair. So it was very close. Obviously, those two were in full wet conditions, full wet tyres rather, having to pit. Willie Fernandez got caught out, and that's why Angry Badger flew by in the Red Bull. I've got to say, Angry Badger, I bet he'll be happy with that overtake. Up into P7 for the Red Bull. Everybody has now pitted. Everybody is now on the intermediate. So therefore, these position changes are your legitimate position changes in this race so far. So you've still got Mr. Poem out in front, the pole sitter. And the man who started alongside him was Morgan Massey. Guess what? He's still in P2. Merckx started down further down the order, but he's now up 4 spots and into 3rd place for the Racing Bulls, and he's certainly targeting a minimum P2 you'd expect. Red Cowboy currently 4th, he's up 1 spot, just ahead of Bevan, who's down a place into 5th, but still delivering well for Mercedes. Viking Fox holding down P6, he's now lost out to Bevan, the gap at 2 seconds. Angry Badger, what a gain from him, up 8 positions, yet he's got a penalty. Up 8 spots into 7th place he goes. Now we are going to go back towards Merck, because again, within 3/10 of Morg Massey here. And then you got Willie Fernandez up 2. He's up into 8th place. Becky Gaming down a position. He's into 9th. Iron Chin up 6. Doug up 6 as well. Both Aston Martins finding their way up into the top 11. King EOG P12 down a place. Down 10 Destroyer Jack. But he has picked up a few places after what was a disappointing lap 1 for the Racing Bulls compared to his teammate, who's certainly picking up that pace for sure in this race. In terms of who's looked the quickest driver in today's race, well, there's got to be 2. It's going to be either Mr. Poem or Merck, who've certainly looked the quickest. Merck in that first stint when he was making overtake after overtake, he's making another one potentially there, just stuck on the Ferrari almost. But Morgan Massey fends him off for the time being. Here comes Merck again. Is he going to push for the overtake down the inside? Not quite. Morgan Massey looks a little bit uncomfortable in that Ferrari. Don't forget Merckx is on the inside line, but he's also avoiding the dirty air as much as possible. Now he did pick up a little bit of dirty air on the exit. However, here could be another chance, but Merckx not got the battery to really challenge with Morg Massey. So therefore, Morg Massey will hold down P2 at the very least up until they reach turn 1. So let's see if Merck has enough opportunity. What is the exit like? Mr. Poem 44.6 continuing to run away with the lead of this race. And you saw the likes of Deck do really well in this tier last season. Mr. Poem looks like the Deck of the 100% tier right now. You wouldn't have thought you would have said that. But you know what? He looks like the Deck of UFRL in 100% tier. Certainly. Mr. Poem putting in a dominant performance here. Pole sitter. Pole by 0.3 of a second as well. And he's leading by more than 7 seconds. Mr. Poem is truly dominating this Grand Prix. But who can battle for 2nd place? Well, it certainly looks between these two, Morg Massey and Merckx. Don't forget, still no safety car in the race. Safety cars and red flags are both on increased. So the chances are still likely. But obviously with 14 laps down out of 53, meaning the chances are decreasing by the lap count. But Merck still, as yet, unable to deliver an overtake on Morg Massey. We are just going to stick with this duo unless anybody gets particularly close. We see Willie Fernandez is behind Angry Badger. You've got King EOG on the rear of Doug. You've got 50 Gen also behind Joshly. Joshly 44 seems to be struggling in that Kick Sauber. You would never have expected a Kick Sauber in 100% tier to be down the order. Maybe Joshly 44 might need a potentially quicker car next week, because that Kick Sauber, he might even replace Ivy. Because Ivy, if he drops out effectively, I don't know if Drac knows the exact situation there. Maybe Ivy might drop out, and therefore it would give a chance for Joshly 44 to pick up that car that Ivy currently has. Because Ivy obviously may not be able to race if he's racing esports every Friday for the UFRT esports team, which is the ultimate Formula Racing team, of course. So Bevan, 3-second penalty. So only 4 drivers with time penalties. Bevan, Angry Badger, Destroyer Jack and 50 Gent. We are actually going to drop down the order here. Destroyer Jack in P13. Widget there, King EOG dropping back from Doug as well. Yeah, the Aston Martins have found their way through nicely. So they have done well after what was a struggle in qualifying for the Aston Martin duo. Thankfully for them, they have managed to pick it up in this race. But can they continue that? I mean, it doesn't look like there are any signs that they will close the gap towards the top 9. Let's keep watch of this one. Destroyer Jack just not quite getting the exit down against King EOG, unfortunately. So King EOG therefore will hold on to this position. PRV widget dropping back at 1 second. King EOG needs to make sure he does not run wide, which he kind of does at turn 1 into 2, but again, luckily for him, he just nailed down on the traction. Gotta say, the conditions don't look overly difficult right now. It's obviously still going to be the intermediates, but this rain, it might be stopping sooner than expected here at Suzuka. And I did say again, with the approximate weather conditions, it means things like this can happen. You never know when the rain will appear on the approximate weather. And it's the same tonight. 43.5, Mr. Poem. Once again, a fastest lap. He continues to set purple laps. Mr. Poem truly dominating this Grand Prix. I mean, in terms of drive of the day, I mean, you could be looking at Mr. Poem. Morg Massey's up there. You know, just because he hasn't gained places from P2 doesn't mean he can't be up there. Merck's going to be up there as well. He's really applying the pressure as well to Morg Massey. We're going to go on with this battle. But these two are pushing for that drive of the day. Poem's going to push for it as well. Badger up 8 spots in the rain. Both Aston Martins working their way up the field as well. Up 6 places apiece. But yeah, those are your contenders right now, it seems, for drive of the day. Bevan's also done well. Let's not rule him out completely. 5th place. The Mercedes has worked well, even though he's lost a place. But look at the gap between Bevan and Viking Fox. When they came out the pits, Viking Fox was, what, a 1 second gap to Bevan? And all of a sudden, the gap now is 5.5 seconds. Viking Fox, no match for Bevan in these conditions. But we're going to stick on with Merck. Also, King EOG is getting closer to Doug. Might just find out that lack of slipstream through the corners, obviously, with the dirty air when impacting Destroyer Jack, when he's finding himself in a race now because he has these two set in his eyesight, and he will look to push up to P11 if he can get past both cars ahead of him. He might even think about some form of undercut strategy when he goes on to either another set of inters or a set of the dry tyres. And obviously you want to make sure you're keeping your intermediates in check here, because if the dry type conditions do arrive quicker than expected, you want to make sure you're going for those dry tyres. But also, on the other hand, you don't want to pit for another set of inters and then very soon after that you have to pit for dries. You want to be pitting for dries in a nice time when you don't have to be forced into that strategy choice. So yeah, we'll see how the drivers fare. But this group of 4 drivers certainly in this. We'll try and keep watch if Merck is getting close for an overtake on Morg Massey. He might be looking to just force the Ferrari into a mistake. At the moment, there are 2 key battles. Well, you could argue 3. Woody Fernandez still on the rear of Angry Badger as well. So let's not discount him, as we will go up the field just quickly. Morg Massey and Merckx, that's how far ahead they are on track. They've gone well through the first sector already. We'll compare that to, say, King EOG, who is on the rear of Doug. Will he get the exit he needs out of the Casio triangle? No, he won't! No, he won't! No, he will not! King EOG, that is not the exit you want out of the Casio triangle. That is quite the opposite. And King EOG falls 2 spots to Drac and Widget. And Drac will be very pleased that Kingy made that mistake, because his next target will be Doug, and he'll just be applying the pressure. Speaking of applying the pressure, Merck has applied the pressure enough because Morg Massey has a penalty, and here comes Merck. He wants P2. He certainly wants it. Will he get the place contact between them down a straight? Has he got it, Merck? They're still side by side, but Merck delivers the overtake finally on Morg Massey. Massey losing out, and Merck is now up into second. He wanted the move, he wanted it big time, and he's delivered it. Up 5 spots, and next target will be your pole sitter and race leader, Mr. Poem. Merckx up into second place. Brilliant stuff from him. PRV Widget then on the rear, because Destroyer Drac is still there. 1.5 tenths, 2 tenths, 3 tenths back to Doug. Maybe just a dirty air impacting his opportunity to get an overtake done, but Destroyer Drac, after that move on King EOG, I say move, let's be real, it was really King EOG's move on himself, losing obviously the traction out of the Casio triangle, but Destroyer Drac here, he has himself an opportunity, but right now, he is just that little bit too far back from the Aston Martin of Doug. I will just keep watch of the lap times though, because Merc, 6.7 seconds, 6.6 now from Mr. Poem. And it wouldn't shock me. I know F1 has to all, to see the striking distance and stuff, how many laps it's going to take. Merc could be there to Mr. Poem within the next 5 laps at the pace he's going at. Within 5 or 6 laps, I'd expect that. Oh, speaking of expecting, well, Jack was looking at a move. Don't worry, he's not expecting, I don't believe. 50 Gent, however, did have a bit of a slip heading into the Casio triangle, hence the yellow flags. He's in P17. Didn't actually lose any places, though, so did just lose time. We'll just have a watch again of Destroyer Jack. Half a second back here from Doug. And the rain continues to drop as Bakey Gaming is the next culprit to receive a 3-second time penalty, joining a list of Morg Massey, Bevan, Angry Badger, Destroyer Jack and 50 Gent with time penalties respectively. And Mercs, there you go, we did say it, he has pace, 42.539. Compare that to Mr. Poem, who did not set a purple lap either before Mercs. So, Mercs is making inroads, and he is the quickest driver on circuit. But again, he may still be 5 or 6 laps away from catching Mr. Poem. But it might be Poem and Merc fighting for the victory here, unless anybody can find their way up the order. I mean, who knows? Going by how it's looked tonight, they might be the two fighting for the championship again, like they did a couple of seasons ago in the international tier. This might be another Mr. Poem v Merc for the title, this time in the 100% tier. You never know, but it's only round 1 of 12, folks, so plenty of racing to go for the rest of the season as Destroyer Jack was closing in. We're going to go back to this situation, I think, and we'll get more of the cars on the main picture. Destroyer Jack, 2.5 tenths. Here we go. His biggest chance yet to make a move on Doug. He is burning into turn 1 on the inside. Destroyer Jack finally pounces. Oh, Douglas goes to the rear. Oh, there's a spin, is it? Almost a spin, it looked like it. King Yoji made a mistake, but luckily for him, keeps it on track. But Doug has finally been overtaken by Drac. Oh, as our Widget going close to the Aston Martin there as well. But Destroyer Jack finally makes his way up the order. P11 for the Racing Bulls, and a gap of just over 6 seconds to Iron Shin in the Aston Martin. So what can Doug do? Or well, what can Destroyer Jack do rather about that? Merc also continuing to open the gap. And what's that? Destroyer Jack's gone completely off track. What has happened to Destroyer Jack? He's lost 3 places to Doug, Widget and King Yoji. Unbelievable. How did he manage that? Was it a lack of concentration from Destroyer Jack, or what happened there? I almost feel like Chris Kamara trying to figure out how a red card happened. That's what I'm figuring out here with Destroyer Jack's ever. How on earth did he manage that? Well, Jack has made a mistake. He's down to P14, and that was pivotal because he finally had clear air. He was P11. He had 7 seconds to Iron Shin, or less than 7 seconds. He looked like he had an opportunity to push towards a top 10. I know obviously the top 10 would have been a long way away, but all of a sudden now, he's back to a dangerous situation in P14, where he's got 3 cars ahead who are battling, one of them being this man, PRV Widget, who's on the inside of Doug. Has Widget found his way through? Yes, he has. PRV Widget now was the lead of these, and Doug makes the same mistake. He's down to P13, the same mistake that Kingy made, and for whatever reason, he's picked up a 3-second penalty. It's a harsh penalty by the game. A very harsh penalty by the game. I mean, I don't know what time advantage the game believes he gained, because he literally lost a position from that. That is very harsh from the game to give Doug a 3-second penalty. But Destroyer Jack is in this. Cowley, oh, Cowley into the grass, luckily avoiding the gravel there. Cowley otherwise, well, that would have been near the end of the race for the Mercedes. Destroyer Jack then. Here we go again. This time it's not for P11, it's for P13. Doug versus Destroyer Jack. Who'd have thought? Maybe Doug made that mistake on purpose, just so he's back racing with Destroyer Jack again. And maybe that's why Destroyer Jack made that mistake the lap before. Maybe they, you know what, Doug and Destroyer Jack, I think they just want to go racing with each other. Forget about racing with Widget and Kingy, just race with yourselves, lads. That's why they made those mistakes over the last couple of laps. They just want to race each other. Forget racing other drivers. It's just Doug v Destroyer Jack tonight. They're probably saying to Cowley, nope, back off, mate. It's just us two. We're the only two drivers in this race, Cowley. Don't get involved. It's just Doug v Destroyer Jack. This is the only real battle right now, actually. Willie Fernandez is stuck with Angry Badger well, but he's not really been close to push for an overtake. Speaking of being close for an overtake, here comes Destroyer Jack within 0.2 of a second, going down the main pit straight, all the way to turn 1. Is this going to be another overtake from Destroyer Jack down the inside on Doug? And indeed it is. Does he go too deep in? No. He does keep it within track limits. And Destroyer Jack up at a P13. Now, will he not make a mistake to let Doug through again? Surely he's not going to do it again for part 2.0. But he has found his way up to P13. Let's go up towards Kingy OGs. Into the pits goes your race leader, Mr. Poem. I will mention Merckx hasn't really been making too many inroads since then. And Mr. Poem and Morgs Massey pitting as well. Morgs Massey with a 10-second penalty. And that has opened the door for a potential podium for Red Cowboy. A Red, or Cowboy, whatever you want to be called. Red Cowboy, Red Cowboy, whatever one Red Cowboy it might be. But Morg Massey, well, that could be a crucial penalty for him. And they are going for dry tyres as well. Let's see Bevan. Will Bevan also go for dries? Yes, he is. Hard tyres for Bevan. And Angry Badger as well is also pitting. So a number of drivers believe it is now time for the dry tyres, and we are not even halfway through this Grand Prix. Angry Badger is also going hard. So they're all going hard here. I do wonder, are they trying to take the hards to the end, knowing how the tyre wear is on this game? It's an interesting one to pit for the hards. Are they trying to go hard to the end, or might they think they can get a double medium? PRV Widget also a 10-second penalty. So some are pitting this lap. I reckon the rest are going to pit the next lap then. With that in mind. So all of them further down. Widget, Kingy, Doug, Cowley are all pitting. Our 50 Gen also is into the pits. So that means Merck and Red Cowboy, or Red Cowboy, are now leading yellow flags. There's a couple of yellow flags hovering around. I'm not sure as to why. Let's have a look. King OG is there. Merckx 42.291. Fastest lap obviously on those inters. Oh! King OG is at a spin onto the grass on the hard tyre. On the hard compound tyre, King OG is at a spin. Now that is not going to set up for a promising race. And he's had another one. Another half spin that time for King OG. This is not ideal for King OG on the hard tyres. Oh, there's another one. Cowley on the hard tyres. Hard tyres do not seem to be it. Red Cowboy is into the pit. He's going for hard tyres. And you know what? The one who could be on for the right tyre here could be Merckx. He's staying on the inters. And I've got to be honest, look at him. That's Aston Martin. Is that Doug? It was Doug. Look how much there's a pace difference between these guys. Merckx on the inters looks like he's quicker. Poem's losing time. But he's struggling as well. It's still into conditions, lads. Don't pit if you haven't pitted yet. The inters are still the best tyre. You do not want to be on the dry tyres right now. Merckx got it right. Williams got it right. And McLaren of PRV Widget has not got it right because he's also had a spin on the hard tyres. The hard tyres are struggling. Merckx, William, Bakey, Iron Shin, Drac, and Joshy, you all seem to have got it right by staying out on these inters because the hard tyres are struggling here in these conditions. I mean, Poem has lost so much time. He's probably lost about 5 seconds to Merckx. This is a big opportunity now for Merck to deliver victory for Racing Bulls. And he's still gaining time. Mr. Poem, 28 seconds behind. Not long ago, he was within 22 seconds. Unbelievable. There's no doubt about it now. The intermediates are the quicker tyre. I say that as Destroyer Jack on the Inters does pick up another 3-second penalty. Woody Fernandez then, on the Inters, right behind Morg Massey. And it's Woody Fernandez thinking, you know what, these tyres are still quicker, I'm going to make a move on you. Morg Massey, don't forget, was net P3 for the pit stops. He was net P3 before the last batch of pit stops for those hard tyres. And look how much closer Fernandez is. Is he going to try and make a move down a pit straight? I do think it's certainly getting closer to the dry tyres, but certainly by the evidence we've seen, it's still not quite there, and the hard tyres are not matching up to the Inters, but it's not too much of a gap on. I'll say that. Morg Massey goes completely off track on the hard tyres. It's still intermediate conditions. It still is. Baker Gaming is pitting. I'm not sure if that's the right call, but then again, what's the right call? What's the wrong call? What a right call. Oh, Mr. Poem! Mr. Poem is at a moment, and the gap to Merckx increases. And the hard tyres have not been the one for the likes of Poem, unfortunately. And not just Poem, by the way. It's not just one driver. Every single driver who was pitted for the dry tyres seems to be struggling here. Merckx is 37 seconds ahead on the Inters. You know what? 41.8, purple lap. And he's probably thinking, I don't even need to risk anything now. I could pit whenever I feel like it is dry. Whenever I'm losing time to Mr. Poem, that's when he'll pit, surely. I mean, it does look pretty dry out there. I will admit to that. But again, he won't want to pit until he's losing time to Mr. Poem. Because once he's losing time, you've still got yourself a good chance. Engineer must have said dry tyres are better, but done them all over. Merckx be cooking. Yeah, like both statements are probably fairly true. Merckx definitely has been cooking, and he's had a very good race. Drive of the day, no doubt about it right now, Merckx. Poem went in and they all followed him like sheep. Yeah, reminds me of James Keller when he followed Doug into the pits at Japan at the back end of last season. Certainly seemed to be that way. Yes, Doug and James Keller. I think back then were P1 and P2 under a late safety car at Japan. Where did they both finish? I think they were like back end top 10. Yeah, it was not the strategy. Have a look at the penalty situation, shall we? There you go. Morg Massey with a very difficult 23 seconds of time penalties. Morg Massey's out. Morg Massey's out. It's a safety car. We finally got a safety car. Morg Massey is out of the race. Just want to make sure he has definitely lost it into the wall. He has done. There you go. So that was pretty clear. He did lose it into the wall. Morg Massey's out. And therefore, we've got a full core safety car. And this is going to be pretty much perfect for the likes of Merck. He can now pit for dry tyres. And he's going to be leading. And to be fair, Mr. Poem might think, you know what, I'm kind of happy about this. Because look at the gap to Merck. 45 seconds. He might be thinking, you know what, I'm not too disappointed about this. He might actually switch tyres. He might say, you know what, I'm not happy with these hards. I might go for mediums. Possibly. I would not be surprised if Mr. Poem considered pitting from these hard tyres. Merck's going to have a free pit stop. Yeah, well, yeah, of course, absolutely. He's going to be leading. But again, I would not be shocked if the likes of Mr. Poem and possibly Red Cowboy thinks about pitting here. And don't forget, Cowboy did have damage. Did he repair the damage? No. So we've still got the damage on the end plate. But Mr. Poem is deciding not to pit. I think he was thinking about it there. Of how slowly he went out of the Casio triangle. He was certainly thinking about possibly pitting. Red Cowboy didn't seem to be thinking about it as much. Woody Fernandez, of course, will pit. He will go on to a set of the dry tyres now as well. Yeah, I don't think it really... I wouldn't say it favoured Merck necessarily. He had a massive advantage, don't forget. He actually had 45 seconds on Mr. Poem. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it was an advantage for Merckx. Maybe not an advantage for Poem because he's now on 4-lap older tyres as well. So, again, I was a bit surprised that Poem didn't pit. And if Poem doesn't pit, then I don't really know why Red Cowboy opted to stay out. He could very well have had a free pit stop himself. You've got Bevan there in a Mercedes, maybe he could have been ahead of Red Cowboy, but it would have been pretty close. And Woody Fernandez now. But William was... Where was William compared to them? I'm trying to think. Was he ahead of Red Cowboy? Or was he behind? That'll be an important question. If he was behind him, then very much Red Cowboy could have been ahead of Bevan. If he was ahead of Red Cowboy, then Red Cowboy would obviously have been behind Bevan if he pitted as well. So, you can understand maybe for Red Cowboy why he didn't pit. Mr. Poem probably had a chance there. Oh no, I don't think they're thinking to go to the end, but they've still got over half the race to go. And they're going to try and do it on those hard tyres when the tyre wear is not great on the game. I don't know how much practice the drivers have done at this track in the 100% race conditions, but so yeah, these factors are going to be important. But the hard tyres, we'll see how they go. Mr. Power might think, you know what, I could settle here for a P2. It's still a good result. You will be disappointed because obviously he was leading the race. Merckx has now caught up to the rear of the safety car as well. Is anybody lapped? Oh, there are some lap drivers in the field. Kingy OG, Kingy, it looks a little bit dry for the full wet tyres, mate. I don't know if you've noticed. Oh, Kingy OG, he's made a blunder. He's made a serious blunder. Full wets. Full wets on a dry track, only Kingy OG could do that. He's struggling to get any power down, and he does not want to overdo it, otherwise he's going to go for a spin. And don't forget, you've got to let laps cars through off track if you can. So, I will say to all of those at the front, you may not be too worried because King OG is on full wet tyres, so he will pit again this lap. King knows something we don't. Maybe it's going to go back to heavy rain, who knows? We're going to get heavy rain within 2 seconds, apparently. It's what King OG must be thinking. No, I'm joking. He obviously just picked the wrong tyre. Yeah, I'll pause it and put wets on. Oh, and it put wets on. What on earth? The game strategy gave you the full wet tyre. That's utterly ridiculous. Oh, so... Whoa! What? Really? Safety car's in this lap? Well, King OG is going to lose out a lot, isn't he? Why is a safety car in this lap for? What? Well done, EA. Well done. How was the safety car... Oh, Merckx. How was a safety car in this lap? That makes no sense. Like, nobody's caught up to the field. What? Red Cowboy is 1.4 back and he's the only one anywhere near the top 2. Sorry, EA. How have you decided to do that? How can a safety car be in this lap? Mr. Poem has now overtaken Merckx, okay? That happened. But what on earth is happening there? Why is the safety car in? EA, come on. Like, that's ridiculous. Look how spread out the whole field is. What? EA, come on. Like, that's ridiculous. You can't do that. Game's gone. Game's in the mud. What has EA done here? Why did the safety car go in on that lap? That makes absolutely 0 sense. Nonsensical from EA there. I mean, if anybody knows why he did it, I don't know. It's not the first time I've seen this happen on this game. It's like it gets confused between safety car and virtual safety car. Well, it knows it's not a VSC because the VSC only lasts about 45 seconds. So it knows it's not a VSC. Destroyer Jack, meanwhile, onto the grass. So still struggling a little bit in these conditions behind Joshy. Now, Joshy's found his way up into the top 10. So he's now up the order. We'll just stick on with these two. We'll keep an eye out for Viking Fox as well. You can still see out on track there are some tricky patches still. Viking Fox finds his way through on Iron Shin, so he's now up to P7. But yeah, that makes no sense. I don't get that from the game. Why is it said, you know what, we're just going to go green flag racing when nobody has caught up as Woody Fernandez with a penalty? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, it's definitely given a massive pro to the likes of Mr. Poem and Merck. Red Cowboy as well. He'll be delighted to be in that top 3. But yeah, I'm not sure what the exact situation is, but why there's been the safety car winning so early, that makes no sense. Yeah, just one lap and goes in. Yeah, again, EA just has to fix that because you can't do that when nobody has caught up to the field and they just decide, oh yeah, the safety car's coming in this lap. Like, how was that even possible? Like, that makes no sense at all. 0 cents, EA. 0 cents. So yeah, another bug, obviously, that EA has to fix. If they don't fix it, well, then again, it's EA, you never truly know, do you? We're just going to stick on with this battle because Destroyer Jack is now pitting. He only just pitted for the hards. While he's pitting again, he might have a bit of damage, actually. So we'll keep an eye out for what tyre he goes on to. It will be... Oh, another fresh set of hard tyres. Interesting. Did he go for the harder tyre allocation, Destroyer Jack? Well, possibly. He's onto the hard tyres now. Merc sets a purple lap, and this gives him a chance. Here we go, Mercs has a look! Oh, he's closing in on Mr. Poem. So much more straight line speed at the end, and then obviously had to put the brakes on to stop him running into the rear of the Alpine. And Mr. Poem retains the race lead here from Mercs. It was just dropping back through the dirty air and it's 1 second shy. Yeah, I can guarantee in the lounge after the race, the whole discussion will be the safety car. Viking Fox, meanwhile, fastest lap as well. He's in P7. So Viking Fox, 3.2 back. Cowley's joined the session. Oh, he must have been disconnected. Destroyer Jack then ahead of 50 Gent. So he's now picked up a place on the fresh hard tyres. 50 Gent trying to get back at him, however. Jack did not get a great acceleration out of the hairpin, but it doesn't seem like 50 Gent's close enough heading into the spoon section. And that will allow for Destroyer Jack to retain the comprehensive P12. So we'll stick on then with Poem and Merc. Merc seems to be wanting that DRS, which he will get on this lap. And again, none of those on the podium have a penalty, so Mr. Poem, Mercs, Red Cowboy, all legitimately battling for position here. They are 1, 2 and 3 respectively, as Mr. Poem 35.9. He now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's getting to a point where there will be fast lap after fast lap after fastest lap. Can't be too much of a shock, I suppose, but that is the situation for us right now as Widget receives a time penalty. So you've got 50 Gent there closing on Destroyer Jack. These drivers, by the way, are now a lap down on the leaders. Always that Destroyer Jack's gone wide. There's another error. I don't understand because he seemed to have done similar earlier on. I'm not sure if it's a wheel struggle, maybe. We had a similar situation where he did make an error early on. And yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there to Destroyer Jack. But either way, I mean, can't do much more now. It is what it is for Jack. We're still going to keep an eye out on the lead. But Merck's now 1.3 seconds back. I do hope but then again, if we get a safety car, it won't mean anything. Apparently, according to the game. You know what I'm hoping we get? A red flag. If we get an in-game red flag, that should be normal. You would expect. Mr. Poem again, going purple. He's on older tyres. And although Merckx looked very quick in the damp conditions, well, he's not quite matching it in these conditions. Mr. Poem has found his pace again. And another fast lap, 1:34.798. Merckx behind him, just over a second behind. Not quite the DRS either. He's really trying to burn it, but not quite sticking at it. Doesn't seem their usual self, Jack, doesn't he? Few mistakes there. Yeah, I mean, remember he made a mistake earlier on after he got by the likes of Doug. He got by a couple of other cars as well, and then all of a sudden he made a mistake through at the section we're just coming up to the double right-hander. Literally through these two corners here, he made a mistake. Went straight on pretty much, and that allowed for 3 drivers to go straight through. So he certainly made a few mistakes, and obviously lap 1 wasn't the greatest of laps from his perspective. So yeah, he has made some errors in this race, Destroyer Jack. But it is what it is. You know, you win some, you lose some. He only got his car about 10 minutes before the race anyway. I say that actually, it did effectively get changed again. He got a late chance to get the racing balls. But yeah. Oh, Aston Martin, that will be Iron Shin. And Iron Shin, well, he's had a bit of a trouble there, Iron Shin. But the Aston Martin is now back at it. But he's lost a lot of time to Viking Fox. And now under pressure from Baker Gaming in the Ferrari. 3.5 tenths back now, 4 tenths of a second adrift. So Baker Gaming certainly close enough, and Merckx also 4 tenths back, and Merckx fastest lap of the race. Here we go again. 34.3s go round the outside on Poem, and Merck has reinstated the race lead. He had it before the safety car. He's got it again. There you go. Merckx 1, Poem 2. Who will win this race? It's got to be between those two. It has to be. They've been the 2 truly dominant drivers in this Grand Prix. They've looked the quickest. They have been the quickest. They are the quickest, surely. And they are 1 and 2 still. Merckx ahead of Mr. Poem. What's that? Becky Gaming just now finding his way through on Iron Shin, although Iron Shin will get the DRS down the main pit straight. Oh, yellow flags. What's happened? It's Drac again. He's not having fun in this one, is he? Down to P13. It's another error. I think Destroyer Jack might just say, you know what? I've had enough of Japan. I've had enough of these tricky conditions. Well, that's another one as well. And that's going to be... it's not King Yoji. Who is that? Angry Badger. Yeah, Angry Badger made a mistake. Just trying to find who the other Red Bull was. There you go. Angry Badger made a mistake. He's in P7. And now losing time to Viking Fox as well. So, unfortunate for him. Quite a few drivers. I mean, it's not just been Drac again. There's been quite a few drivers have certainly made a mistake here and there in this Grand Prix. But yeah, Destroyer Jack and P13. Iron Shin still there behind Baker Gaming. And the gap oh, as I saw for a moment, a little bit shaky there, Iron Shin. But Merckx is opening up a gap here, 33.053, and he's got almost a second on Poem. Out of nowhere, Merckx has picked up the pace again. Just as we thought Mr. Poem was looking like he was moving on to try and get the win, well, all of a sudden Merckx picked up the pace. So here we go. Still 1 and 2. Poem is certainly getting back in there through the S's, however. He's back within 4 tenths of a second. As Joshi 44 overtaking Iron Shin. And as we head into 130R, it will be Iron Shin down to P10. And Joshi 44, he's making up some places in these dry conditions up into 9th place. Next target will be Baker Gaming. And then he's got a big gap towards Angry Badger, another big gap towards Viking, another big gap to Woody, and another big gap to Bevan in the top 4. So here we go as our Iron Shin momentarily had a look on the inside. We're going to go back towards your top 2. And we're going to go all the way to 130R for Mr. Poem and for Merckx. Is Mr. Poem thinking about a possible move into 130R? Certainly not. So what about into the Casio Triangle? It doesn't quite look like it. So Mr. Poem, therefore, will have a DRS. Our yellow flags. Angry Badger's out. Is that another? It is. It's a safety car. Oh, they both entered the pit. It's amazing work from them. That was absolutely pinpoint perfect for both Merck and Mr. Poem, that safety car. Badger is out, however. Commiserations to him. But these two have had the perfect opportunity. Red Cowboy is pitting. Now, is Red Cowboy thinking, you know what? The same may very well happen like last time. We might get a short pit stop, well, short safety car. So you know what? I'm just going to stay out. I'm going to be leading the race. We're going to have 3 or 4 cars in this battle, maybe. But I think there will be a couple of cars closer, because don't forget, the gap between Merc and Poem, when the last safety car came out, was 45 seconds. Mr. Poem did catch up. So, on this occasion, I get the feeling there will be more than just a few drivers in this lead group. But when I say I get the feeling, it's EA, so again, you never truly know. Please don't absolutely say, oh, set in stone it will happen. Some drivers are still pitting, obviously hoping that the glitch doesn't happen again. Viking Fox, Baker Gaming, you've also got Woody Fernandez pitted as well onto the medium tyres. So let's get the tyre situation up for you whilst we're under the full course safety car. Let's go back onto your race leader, allow you to have the picture. I'm just going to get a quick drink as well. I say quick drink, you know, just a drink to get in there, and then I'll be back in just a second. We'll leave you with the pictures from the safety car. Right, we are back. I was watching the pictures there. Red Cowboy was kind of overtaking the safety car there, is he not? Is he going to disqualify him or not? No, I think he just avoided it. I was going to say, he should actually have let the McLaren go by, but luckily now, it seems like the McLaren PRV, no, it's not Widget, it's actually 50 Gent. Not sure what's going on here. So, the Mercedes, right, who is the Mercedes? The Mercedes is not Mr. Poem. Oh, it's Cowley, I see. So these guys have been allowed to overtake the safety car, which is brilliant news. So the next one to catch up will be Doug. And again, you should go off track to let cars through. So that's why I was mentioning Red Cowboy, because he was not doing that when there was a car behind him. So if you have a lapped car behind you, you should go off track to let them go through, so that they can unlap themselves. So this will be the same here. So you've got the group ahead. Bevan's the first one, so we should go off track. It's not going to work like that, because there you go. So he has now gone off track. The only thing is, you shouldn't cheese yourself to positions there, so Williams should let Bevan through. What's happened there? Yeah, he's got to go fully off track. This is what's going to happen. He's got to go off track. Fully off track, Bevan. Fully off track. You've got to go fully off track. There you go. William won't try and cheese this place. William. Yeah, William should have done that. And Red Cowboy as well. You shouldn't do that. If drivers are trying to do that, the likes of William and Red Cowboy, you should not be cheesing positions through that. It's very obvious what's going on there, guys. For me personally, I would give William and Red Cowboy a penalty for that. But then again, it's difficult now, because if Red Cowboy does not let Bevan through, which he should. Red Cowboy should let Bevan through by right, in my opinion there. So they should not have been able to cheese those positions out of that. That's wrong. That's completely wrong. Because you've adhered to the rule where you let lapped cars go through. It's a bit more difficult for William because he's got to go by what Red Cowboy does now. But maybe to avoid a penalty himself. What's going on here? Why is there a... What's King EOG even doing? Why is he overtaking? What is he doing? I don't know why King EOG did that. Cars are going to go off track for you. They will go off track for you, but you can't bolt your way through down a straight. There you go. So, who's the next one? PRV Widget. It's going to be difficult, this, though. King EOG's almost got his way... he has, actually. He's now got through on the safety car. So, the last one is PRV Widget. And PRV Widget is right at the back. So, the next car ahead of him should let him through. There's a Williams. Viking Fox, I do believe it is. So, PRV Widget is the last one. He's in P15 in the McLaren. So, if you guys are able to, please do let him through. And then... So, it is Viking Fox next. He needs to let him through, though. Viking. It's the last one. It's the last driver to get through. So it would be nice. Viking Fox, he's got to adhere to the rule. It is a rule. You don't want to get an unnecessary penalty out of this, Viking. At the moment, it will be. It will be a penalty going to Viking Fox if he doesn't let Widget go by. Yeah, I think Vikings going to have to get a penalty for this. I do agree, Martelli, on EA should really do this as a rule. It's stupid by EA why they haven't done. Like, it's been so many years, why have they not added in this rule? But from what I'm seeing, I think Viking Fox might get a penalty here. Yeah, he pretty much will. It's pretty obvious. Yeah, I do agree though. I don't know why EA do it. Yeah, lap 36 to 37, I think I will just note it down. Viking Fox did not let Widget go by. Right then, so we are going to be back underway. Most of the field have caught up as well, which is at least better than last time. And here we go again. Lap 35 of 53. Merckx, Poem, William, Cowboy, Bevan. That's your top 5. Bevan should really be a couple of places higher. It would be respectful for Red Cowboy to let him go by. But we'll see if he does. Mr. Poem, there you go. William and Red Cowboy are fighting it out. But yeah, Bevan should really be a couple of places higher up. Destroyer Jack, 10-second penalty for corner cutting. That's a harsh one, but he might be back to retire anyway. Yeah, he does. The Destroyer Jack opts to retire. But let's see, because again, Bevan should really be, by right, two places further up. William and Red Cowboy, for me, did cheese that a little bit there. They should not have overtaken Bevan when Bevan was going off track to let a lapped car go by. So Bevan did the right thing. William and Red Cowboy did not do the right thing. They should not have overtaken Bevan there. So there could be a few penalties going around for that. I think William and Red Cowboy will certainly be under the pressure on that, and also Viking Fox obviously for not allowing Widget to go by. So for me, there could easily be a couple of penalties go around for these incidents. Just going to make sure. I think it was about lap 35, maybe 36 for the whole Bevan. I would expect Bevan to report that as well. Bevan should actually be reporting that with William and Cowboy, from what I saw. EA are a bit lazy with these rules sometimes. They are. They really, really are. Right, let's go back towards the front then. Merckx, Mr. Palm again. They've been the two quickest drivers tonight, but is that going to continue? You can see the position gains there. I am going to move that off, however, to go. I want a penalty situation up. There you go. Just so you guys can see where people will finish with their penalties as well. Merckx, Mr. Palm. Still the top 2. William is still there in P3, but he does have a penalty. Red Cowboy, as things stands, would jump up to P3. However, even though we would jump up to 3rd, Red Cowboy might be about to get a penalty as well as William. For me personally, I would recommend a penalty for it because, again, you don't want drivers to just freely overtake when somebody's letting a lapped car go by. And that shouldn't be happening. So, yeah, for me personally, I would give penalties to both William and Red Cowboy and also to Viking Fox for not letting PRV Widget go by. So, for me, that's 3 penalties, or certainly potential penalties, providing they are reported. 3 penalties could be incurring for William, Red Cowboy, and for Viking Fox here for safety car. It could call it safety car infringement, or whatever you want to call it, but it is a rule to let lapped cars through, so that's certainly the case for Viking. And again, you should not be cheesing positions when somebody is just adhering to that rule, you know. Otherwise, we'll just throw the rule away, you know. Right, Viking Fox. Oh, bit of contact there from Joshy, but Viking seemed eager for the place. He's got the place. Viking Fox, maybe whether or not he's got the stream up, he might be hearing that he might be about to get a penalty. So, you know what? He's thinking, you know what? I need to get some places done here just to get myself further up the order so that the penalty isn't too much damage for him. But yeah, for Viking Fox, he's now up into P6. I think the penalty is a two place drop and 2 penalty points. I believe that is what the penalty will be for Viking. I think we've had a couple of penalties for not allowing a lapped car through, and that has been a penalty. So it looks like 2 place drops will go for Viking Fox for sure. And again, I would imagine the same penalty could be going towards William and Red Cowboy. Again, I might be incorrect on that, but it seems around that level. Mercs and Mr. Poem continue to face battle, and here we go. We approach 130R. Obviously, high speed, left-hander, full power as well. Only time you really need to lift off is if it's raining, aka like earlier on, you might lift off a little bit. Or if you've got high tyre wear, then you might want to lift off slightly as well. But let's see here, because Mr. Poem will get a DRS. Mercs 32, 243 for the fast snap. But is he under attack here from Mr. Poem? Poem on the outside line. Not quite there. Mercs defends the inside. Well, Red Cowboy finds his way through on Willie Fernandez. And Red Cowboy onto the podium as Mercs just about defends the move from Poem once again through into the S's. They are 1 and 2. And Mercs and Poem, is the title going to one of these 2 drivers, or is there going to be an outside challenger? And even if they didn't realise, should have gave it back, I'm sure someone would have. Not sure what Voigt. I'm guessing you mean something else there. But yeah, they should have given it back. Both Red Cobbo and William. Obviously, I do think it was more difficult for William to let him through, but he shouldn't have done that anyway. He should have stayed behind him until Bevan returned to the track. It was very obvious what was happening. So yeah, for me, it's clear-cut penalties to William and to Red Cowboy and to Viking Fox. For me, from what I've seen. Again, I can only go by what I've seen, but for me, it looks very clear-cut. I think there will be 3 penalties going for that. And if it's 2 place drops to each of them, that means Red Cowboy right now will be P5. William, well, technically, he's going to drop to behind Viking Fox anyway, but then again, Viking's also going to drop. So Joshy could be in line to get a couple of places here. Joshy could very much get a top 5 out of all of this. Bevan will get 2 spots ahead of a 2 ahead of him, which is very fair because they were the 2 who cheesed him out that place. So yeah, right now for Bevan, he still looks like he could be actually on for a podium. If he could stick with Red Cowboy and William, that's all he needs to do. Even though he's got the penalty, if he can stick with the 2 ahead of him, then he could be about to deliver a strong result. Speaking of which, Joshy and Beatty side by side into the S's. Joshy fends off the Ferrari challenge. The prancing horse was looking to go for a dance, couldn't quite hop his way through, and Viking retains P6. Not Viking, Joshy stays in P7. So is this the safety car bug? No. That was not the safety car bug. It was just, so basically, lapped cars were trying to find their way through. The first one was a safety car bug, which was very weird and annoying. But the second one is, I believe, 3 likely penalties. One is pretty much guaranteed. So Viking Fox will get a penalty because he blocked PRV Widget from trying to get through. Viking Fox did not go off track to allow PRV Widget to unlap himself. So therefore, Viking Fox's penalty is clear cut. That will be a penalty. It's just about William and Red Cowboy because they overtook Bevan whilst Bevan was going off track to let a car go by, who was obviously unlapping it themselves. So again, for me personally, that's also a penalty to Red Cowboy and to William. So with that in mind, with those 3 getting a penalty, then therefore Bevan right now would be on for a podium. So it would be Mr. Poem, then Merck, then Bevan, from what I understand out of that situation. Yeah, I could tell your setup did not seem particularly great, Jack. Let's see, then why was it finishing so early? Yeah, that was the first safety car. The first safety car, I don't understand why it ended so early. But what I was talking about with those 3 respective drivers, with Viking, Red Cowboy and William, that was under the second safety car. So that was under the most recent one that we just had. Right, let's go up towards the front, shall we? Because Mr. Poem has got a gap now, 1.3 seconds on the Mercs. And don't forget they're now on equal tyres, effectively. I think they, well, I say that, they're both on the medium, so yeah. both on the medium tyres. Red Cowboy has got 1 lap less on his mediums, and he's still in 3rd place, but again, looks likely that he will receive a post-race penalty. So, and again, you don't know the situations with other drivers. Somebody might have had an incident that you didn't even see on stream. And let's be honest, we haven't really seen any incidents on stream this evening. So, big ups to the clean racing that we've seen so far. We've actually had, I will say this, I know there have been a couple of penalties going around tiers 1, 2, and 3, but we've actually had very good racing in each one of them. And it seems the same tonight. There's been some great racing. Obviously, drivers struggling in the tricky rain conditions, but you know what? They have done well when it's been side by side. Here goes another one. Becky Gaming and Joshy, both of them back at it, and Becky Gaming this time finds way up into P7. Joshy just has to watch and sit in behind on this occasion. And you've also got Iron Shin closing in on Kingy OG. That's for P11 and P12. It does look like Iron Shin is just going to have to stay behind. But again, King UG has slightly more penalties. I say slightly more. He has 16 seconds. Iron Shin does not have a penalty. So let's just say Iron Shin will finish ahead of King UG unless he makes a big mistake. So we go back up the front of the race. There are more yellow flags for Doug. I think he was just letting traffic go by, however. Don't forget, you've got himself and PRV Widget, both who are lapped in this race. Even second one, I think, previous games, it would wait until we all came back round of the field. Sometimes it doesn't. It depends. If the safety car feels like it's been out for too long, then it will just call itself in. But yeah, I'm still not a big fan of how the current safety car works. It would be pretty cool to have a setting where you could say a maximum number of laps the safety car could be out for at any one moment, or combined number of laps maybe. Because if you could have it preset to say maximum of 3 laps, or you could have it set to a maximum of 5 laps or something like that, it would make it pretty cool and more realistic. Because imagine a safety car being out for 5 laps. Like, because lapped cars are trying to unlap themselves and such, and the game actually allowed lapped cars to go through. That would be pretty cool. You know, as much as people don't want to sit and watch 5 laps under the safety car, it would be realistic, like an actual legitimate Formula 1 race. Because in real Formula 1, how often do they go only 3 laps under a safety car? Not actually often. Very often it's more than 3 laps under a full course safety car. Because they're clearing up debris, they're clearing up a car in the wall, etc., etc. As Iron Shin and King OG both wanting to go swimming. Speaking of swimming, Iron Shin finding the greener, right? King OG done that move and straight away heads into the pits. That is amazing. That is absolutely classic. King OG decided, you know what? We've done that. I've had the battle, but you know what? I'm just going to pit. Don't want any of that. Meanwhile, Merckx dropped behind Red Cowboy, so Mr. Poem, well, he looks set to get the victory here, and this could be a problem for Bevan potentially now. Because Red Cowboy, even though he's overtaken Merckx, again, I do think Red Cowboy will get a penalty, personally, from what I've understood from that situation. Merckx now has re-overtaken Red Cowboy. Bevan will want Merckx to beat Red Cowboy on this race. If Merckx finishes ahead of Red Cowboy and Bevan can stay in P5, I think Bevan will be on for a podium, because all the 3 drivers around Bevan, the 2 ahead of him and the 1 behind him, I think will get penalties. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Bevan will certainly be hoping that they'll all get penalties. I personally think they will, because again, they did cheese it. They did cheese at Red Cowboy and William. They shouldn't have done that. They should not have overtaken Bevan when he was letting a lapped car go off track. So yeah, I'm not personally very favourable towards what they did there. That's very unsportsmanlike from both Red Cowboy and William. So for those 2, we've got to make sort of comments like that, because they've got to learn that they can't be doing that. They have to get a penalty for it. They have to. Because if they don't, other drivers will do that as well. They'll be like, okay, well, if you go off track and let a car through, I'm overtaking you as well. You don't want that. And because you don't want that, you have to give penalties to them. And I think it's got to be the same penalty for not letting a lapped car through. So for me, I think they're all going to just get the same penalty, with Viking as well. So Viking will get the same penalty, I think, with Red Cowboy and William. But there you go, Red Cowboy again, just find his way past on Mercs. It's not going to be plain sailing for Bevan this podium, like he could get, because Red Cowboy, well, if he gets P2 on track, that means he would drop to P4 with a 2-place drop. Is there a way to tell what car is lapped as a driver? Well, yeah, just look behind you. Just look behind you, you'll see. That's all you need to do. It's not particularly difficult. You know, so yeah, literally look. It won't show on your 5-car list, because obviously on the 5-car list on the left-hand side of a driver's screen, it won't tell you lapped cars unless you're near a lapped car in terms of grid position. But it will tell you if you just look behind. You can see a driver is 10 places behind you, and you sort of look at that and think, oh, they're 10 places behind me. That doesn't seem right. So yeah, again, it is a league rule, so you can't be you should let lapped cars go by. And again, I don't think, because Bevan has effectively been penalised for letting a lapped car go by. Let's factor that in as well. It's not like he's gone off track for no reason. He's gone off track to adhere to the league rules of letting a lapped car go by. So that in mind, for me, it's a clear-cut penalty to Red Cowboy, and it's a clear-cut penalty to William, as much as it's a clear-cut penalty to Viking. All three of them are going to be looking at clear-cut penalties. Well, Merck's here. He's going round the outside of Red Cowboy once again. King EOG 130.477, fast up the race on the fresh softs. But Merck's does take P2 again. These two are going to have a ding-dong battle from now until the end, like they have been for the last few laps as well. So Merck's v Red Cowboy will go all the way to the end, and still William and Bevan's dropped off now. That's dropped off. Viking Fox is in here. There is a lapped Alpine. Is that an Alpine? That's not an Alpine. Looks like... Is that a Red Bull? It looked lighter on my screen, but now it looks very dark, and that is a Red Bull, because that is King EOG. Ironic enough, because King EOG did just go fastest, and now is being lapped by a Viking Fox. He's actually inside him. Totally to go inside, don't you worry. Right, Red Cowboy, let's go back towards him. 2.5 attempts back from Mercs in a battle for P2. Mr. Poem is gone. He is done. He's getting this victory. Mr. Poem. I mean, it'll be an absolute miracle for any other driver if they go on to win this race. The only one who will win this race is going to be Mr. Poem. Here goes Red Cowboy. He's getting a move on Mercs. Mercs turning off the battery to allow himself to get the DRS down the main pit straight here. Yes, Red Cowboy P2, Mercs P3. But can Mercs get him back? It's half a second a gap. He is closing. Is he closing enough? It looks like he is. He's going to go down the inside, and Mercs regains that P2. Red Cowboy drops down again. It's a great battle, a tasty battle. William's still in the picture, and there you go. Red Cowboy running a little bit wide, drifting off, but again, he does keep a car within track limits. If it feels people are not catching up quick enough, it will just go in. Yeah, probably. I mean, again, the first safety car was utterly ridiculous. That was definitely a glitch on the game. But the second one, most of the field had caught up. It was just that some hadn't. But yeah, again, I do wish that we could have a setting for how long safety cars can be out for. Because at the moment, the average for safety cars is 3 laps. And not very often it goes more than that. If it goes out more than that, it's only 4 laps and that's it. And look how close all these cars are. We've got the battle continuing. Mercs, Cowboy, William is here as well. And then you got Bevan. So all 4 drivers, Mercs, Cowboy, William and Bevan, who will be finishing this race in P2, because Mr. Poem will get the victory. A much needed victory as well. Round 1 And he's going to come home with the win. But here we go. Red Cowboy through on Merckx. And he has got P2 again. We're down to the last 4 laps of the race. Mr. Poem, Cowboy, Merckx and William. Your top 4 with Bevan in 5th. But again, penalties could be floating around for Cowboy, William and Viking. No excuse for the ones that passed a car that did give way. But the one that didn't let him through. Yeah, I mean, for me, there's no excuse for any of them, to be fair. Viking Fox was a little bit... I don't know what the right word was. Maybe a bit silly with it. Because it's a silly thing to get a penalty for, is what I'm saying. It would have been a better off if we just let him pass, even if Widget, let's say he didn't, I think it was PRV Widget, I'm pretty sure. Let's say Widget did not manage to get his way all the way through, then at least you're saying, all right, I'm not getting a penalty out of this. But now Viking's getting an unnecessary penalty out of it. It's just a bit, yeah, as I said, unnecessary, silly, whatever the word you think is right, it is literally that. Be a frustrating penalty, but it's just a penalty. And for me, again, the same would just have to happen for Red Cowboy and William. They'll just have to eat the penalty. That's all. That's all they can do now. What's done is done. It was laps ago, but you can't let people overtake when someone's trying to do the right thing according to the league rules. It's just that. Right, here we go again. A move being made on Merckx. Did have a look on Red Cowboy. There's also the Red Bull there. King EOG, where he's now found his way through. I have an issue with this. The only issue I have with this, King EOG needs to break 1 second. Because King EOG should not be giving Red Cowboy DRS. So King EOG, if you're listening, make sure you break the 1 second to Red Cowboy. Otherwise, you should be dropping behind. Because Red Cowboy should not be getting DRS from a lapped car. He is sort of opening up a gap in all fairness. Just burn all your battery if you can. Burn all your battery, break clear of Red Cowboy. I don't mean, you know, if Merck was the same, William or Bevan, whoever's in that position behind, King EOG shouldn't really be giving them DRS. But it looks like the Alpine is close enough. I know King EOG is on a soft tyre, so he should be rapid here. Let's see what his exit is out of the spoon section. Not great. Yeah, it's not great. I think for me, I think King E probably should let him through now. I think King OG should drop behind all of his guys, actually. And the reason why is he's not clearly quick enough. Ah, there you go, he is. Thank you, King OG. Thank you. So now they can all have a legitimate battle all the way to the end. Yeah, that's respectful driving. That's great sportsmanship by King OG there. That's what the likes of William and Red Cowboy should have had as well earlier on. Right, here we go. We're down to the penultimate lap of the race. Red Cowboy, Merckx, William, Bevan, and Viking Fox are still not too far back. Again, penalties will be lingering around, but we won't talk too much with a couple of laps to go. We will go by what their track position suggests. And then obviously after that, we will talk about the potential penalties. But here we go. We are on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Poem leads, and he is surely going to be marching on to the victory. 6 second gap. Unless he runs out of fuel, which surely can't happen given we've had 2 safety cars, he will come home with the victory. And what a display of racing it has been by Mr. Poem. We thought it was game over for Mr. Poem earlier on when he pitted for the hard tyres when it was still very tricky on track. He dropped 45 seconds to Merckx. Safety car came out, and you've got to say, the second safety car in particular has really benefited Mr. Poem here. And he looks set to push for the win. He will get the win. 6 seconds clear. But what about this? The battle for P2 on track. Red Cowboy versus Merck. And we're going to get one more major opportunity in the DRS for UFRL Merckx to get a move done. Or will Red Cowboy defend? Red Cowboy with a slight lock up into the Casio triangle. Who gets a drive? It's not Merckx. And it's surely going to be Red Cowboy who will come home with the result he needs. He so desperately needs. Red Cowboy, that might just get him a strong position in 4th place. I still think Bevan will get a podium out of this effectively though, because of William having a penalty and Viking as well. So Bevan will still get a podium it seems from this, but Red Cowboy, there you go, he is still held on to P2 on track. which is what he needs because he needs to be as high up as he can before the penalty takes place. So Red Cowboy, he's still on for a great result. It's not going to be quite the result he was hoping for when the penalty gets announced, but after the penalty gets announced, again, you'll just have to take it. You'll have to accept it and learn from it. But that's all you can do. For Merckx, 6/10 behind, he's just not close enough as we exit out of the first of two crucial hairpins here. He's still got maybe one final chance at the 130R, but again at 7/10, not close enough. It needs to be a lot closer heading into the spoon section for the final time this evening. Red Cowboy, half a second, 6/10 to Merckx. Does Merckx have all the battery he needs? They're always going to push it, but is it going to push it to the very limit? Half a second back now. Poem is heading through the Casio triangle now, and there are yellow flags. Does that mean somebody's out of fuel? I think they are. Viking is out of fuel. We will go towards Poem. Poem wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Red Cowboy will hold P2 on track, and it will be Merckx in P3. But again, I do think Merckx will get an extra place. William, P4 on track. Bevan, P5 on track. Again, looks like William will get a penalty. Viking Fox, well, he's dropped down behind Bakey Gaming, and that's going to be costly to Viking because he was also ahead of Bevan effectively, but he ran out of fuel. So it's dropped him, 3 places behind William, Bevan, and Bakey. And therefore, Viking Fox could be in line to drop even further back. Cowley, here we go. Cowley will come home in P9 because Joshy gets P8. Cowley 9th for Mercedes. A top 10 will go to the McLaren of 50 Gent. And he'll be the final man entering that top 10. And then we'll have one more driver to cross the line after the McLaren. But the thing these drivers have been waiting for is the flag to the end. And now all the drivers will know they have finally got the flag to the end. Here we go. 5th Gent does take P10. And the final driver to cross the line in P11 will be Iron Shin. I will mention as well, King OG P12, PRV Widget in P13, Doug P14. But the final one to enter will be Iron Shin, and it will be P11 for the Aston Martin. So we'll go towards your race winner, which is UFRL Mr. Poem. 1.5 safety cars. Pretty much, yeah. I completely agree. It has been 1.5 safety cars, hasn't it? Yeah, you're not wrong. And here we are for the podium celebrations. Right, here we go then. So your race winner, of course, Mr. Poem. Fasten up King OG. Driver of the day, Iron Shin. Interesting decision by the game. I mean, we'll check on the results, how many places he gained. He was near the back. And most overtakes goes to William. Right, here we go. Mr. Poem with the win. Red Cowboy takes home 2nd place. And Merckx on the podium as well. And William and Bevan top 5. Bakey P6, Viking. Then you got Joshy, Cowley, and 50 Gent in the top 10. Iron Shin, King OG, Widget, Doug all finishing the race. And unfortunately for Destroyer Jack, Angry Badger, and Morg Massey, they all DNF. But there you go. That's been your race here for the Japanese Grand Prix. And yeah, very, very interesting for this race. But again, potential penalties will be lingering around. But we'll see what happens. For me, they were all pretty clear cut. It looks very much set in stone. But again, we'll see what happens and what occurs for the penalty situation. But we will be back for tomorrow night. Let me have a look where the international tier opens up. So for tomorrow night, 8 o'clock PM for the international tier, I will be heading to Australia, and it will be you have to use all of the soft, medium, and hard compound tyre at Australia for tomorrow night's race. So interesting. So it will be a dry race as well, that means. So it'll be fully dry for the whole race, and you have to use soft, medium, hard tyres, and you have to use all three of them. So that is your strategy effectively for tomorrow. Then on Monday night, for Tier 1, we'll be back for round 2 at the Bahrain International Circuit. And then for Tier 2 on Tuesday night, we'll be heading to Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Tier 3 next Wednesday, we'll be heading to Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. And then for the 100% tier next week, next Friday, we'll be back for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So those are your next 5 races here in UFRL. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. There you go. That has been UFRL. I have been UFRL F1 Viva. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Engines roar, the lights go down. Adrenaline runs through the battleground. We face the edge, no time to break. One shot to win, one line to take. From the first turn through the final flare, we own the track, we breathe the dare. Speed is the language, glory the game. In the ultimate league, we rise in flame. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it harder, take the lead. Rollers burning, hearts collide. We were born to rule this ride. Raise the flag. It's victory time. Ultimate formula, the finish line. Now screams and tires fly. We tear the limits, kiss the sky. No retreat, no second place. Every lap we set the pace. Legends forged in every lap. One mistake, a thunderclap. But we don't break, we only grow. It's trigger dreams in turbo soul. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it harder, take the lead. Rollers burning, hearts collide. We were born to rule this ride. Raise the flag, it's victory time. Ultimate formula, the finish line. The finish line. Oh, engines thunder in our veins. Oh, victory flows through the chains. Oh, we are the song of fearless breed. Ultimate racers, we were born to lead. Feel the fire, feel the speed. Push it harder, take the lead. Racing legends side by side. In the ultimate formula, we rise with pride. Raise the flag, let the engines chime. Ultimate formula, the finish line. A finish line.